Hello and welcome to the Rescue Dog Pod, the show where we talk all things rescue. The stories, the struggles, and most importantly, the incredible people and animals who inspire us every day. I'm your host, Helen Summerfield-Brown, President and founder of Stray Dog Support, an international animal rescue organisation dedicated to helping street animals across the globe. Whether you're a long-time listener or this is your very first time tuning in, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We have an amazing show lined up for you today that I know you're going to love. Joining me today is a woman who is a true force of the world of rescue, Stephanie Garcia. Stephanie is the South American Partnerships Liaison and Project Manager for Stray Dog Support and leads our Save a Stray initiative based in Rayon, Mexico. With over 25 years of hands-on experience in animal rescue, particularly focused on stray dogs, Stephanie brings a powerful combination of compassion and strategy to everything she does. But that's not all. She has also a strong background in corporate sales and education, having coached executives in English and business, and she's fluent in 3 languages. Currently, she's also pursuing a degree in international law with dreams of becoming an international rights lawyer. Her lived experience across 7 countries has given her a unique and invaluable cultural perspective, which she uses daily in her advocacy work. Stephanie is a true warrior for the voiceless, and we are thrilled to have her with us today. So Stephanie, welcome to the Rescue Dog Pod.
Good morning, Helen. Thank you very much for inviting me, for having me with you. And it's a pleasure to get on and
Oh,
chat about what happens in the world today with little furry animals.
there you go. And we're so glad to have you on. I know that you're a big, huge part of our team, and you're leading the charge of animal welfare in Mexico. So I can't wait to get to dive right into it, to sort of get your point of view and thoughts on Mexican rescue. But first of all, is there anything else that you'd like to share about yourself that I did not mention in the intro? Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, how your journey into rescuing animals began, and maybe just tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you, Helen. How did this journey begin? It began a long, long time ago when I was a child. I grew up in New Delhi in India, and growing up in New Delhi, I lived surrounded by animals and by nature, and I was taught many things about through the wonderful people that took care of me when I was a child. Respect for life, respect for others, respect for other cultures, and it just became part of who I am. I love animals. I've loved them since I was a child, and my father painted, so I also grew up painting animal portraits, and that's what I love to do the most when I paint. I also do handicrafts, no? But I think that that was the moment in my life that changed me forever. And since then, I've been advocating for animal rights. Remember when I was in primary school, the usual child that gets very upset with others when somebody steps on his nail, trying to save little spiders also from um, humans stepping on them.
I'm the same. I'm like my other half is like, you got 3 seconds to get the spider out of the shower, and I'm like the spider whisperer. So I come in with the glass and the piece of paper and I get it outside. So totally get that. Totally respect that for sure.
Yes. So, sometimes you begin through very little things, but it becomes a huge part of you. So I think that we have to make the world a kinder place, and as humans, we must contribute to giving back to our planet things that we have enjoyed. No, we enjoy the air, we enjoy nature, we enjoy so many things in this planet, and we truly seldom give back to 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 our home. No,
Yeah, I
and
love that. And
yeah.
I did not know that you grew up in New Delhi. So that's news to me because, we do a lot of rescue in New Delhi, India. So I had no idea that you did that. So that you grew up there. So that we'll have to have another conversation about that because that's fascinating. And also, yes. And if anybody that's listening, Stephanie does the most amazing handicrafts. Like she does these amazing wooden statues of dogs and animals and any animal that you want. Like I've got how many? I think I've got like seven.
Yes.
You've done them for many of my friends, and they're really, really awesome. So if anybody wants some really cool gift ideas that it's coming up for Christmas, reach out to us and we can hook you up with Stephanie because her work is absolutely amazing. And all the proceeds that she uses on the handicraft goes back to helping with the animals on the street. So it's a really it's just sort of it's a really awesome thing. So um, now, you growing up, did you have animals growing up, or you just sort of, what was your first animal that you rescued? Can you remember that, or besides the snail, because we obviously know it's a snail and a spider, but did you get to have a dog growing up, or tell us
I
about that?
rescued for the first time. I rescued an injured squirrel when I was, I think, 4 years old in India. It had been run over, and I took it to my house. And at that time, I think it was 1988 or something like that. We tried to do the best for the squirrel, considering the country where we lived in, and considering that there weren't, many vets available locally, and even for humans at that moment, having medications and stuff, it was complicated. But thankfully, and the squirrel survived. It became better, and it kind of limped a little bit, but then we brought it back to the wild, to where we rescued it in a park, and I think that was one of my first rescues. Yes, and
Oh, I love squirrels. Squirrels are
yes,
amazing.
yes, yes.
Oh,
So
wonderful. And then when you moved to, then you moved from, did you move from India to back to Mexico, or did you travel around the world, or?
yeah, travel a little bit. Because of my mom's work, she worked in the Mexican Foreign Service. I was in India. I think it was for about 3 years. Then I moved to Mexico for like 6 months.
Okay.
Then we moved. I think it was to Italy for 6 months. Then we moved to the United States. I lived in Michigan for 3, 4 years. I even remember my school name was Kenyon Elementary School, where I
Shout out
studied.
to them if they're listening.
And one of my teachers, Mrs. Lockhart, I love her with all my heart. I still remember her. She helped me learn how to write English because I learned how to speak English in India, but I didn't know how to write English. So I started first year of elementary school, the half of the remaining first year, and she taught me how to write in English, and she was a huge support for me as a new student coming to a new country. And it was always hard growing up in different countries as a child because I would leave my friends behind,
Mm.
and and some of them I never got to see them again, or have contact with them. But also rescued. I think it was a lynx in Michigan.
A
my
lynx?
Yes,
Oh,
my dad
Lord,
arrived once.
Stephanie.
My father arrived once home, and we told him, "Daddy, Daddy, we rescued a cat. No, the cat was outside in the cold, and it was hungry, and we brought it in, and we gave the cat a shower, and
Oh,
and my dad
Lord.
almost had a heart attack when he saw it was a lynx."
So, what did you do with the lynx? Did you like let it go, or did you
No,
keep it?
my dad called wildlife
Okay.
rehabilitation nonprofit organization something, and they took the links. No, it was a well baby. No, yes, a baby cat. No, but
A baby kitten
we
lynx.
wanted to keep it. We didn't know, right?
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. I know, like I hear people all the time, like there's people that will rescue like dogs and it turns out to be a wolf. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's the first time I've ever heard of a lynx. So that's one
Yes.
for the record book. So you're currently in Mexico. You have two amazing children, Max and Gus, who I know are actually also animal warriors. You tell me all the time how much they're animal warriors, so that is really awesome. So you got two wonderful kids. Tell us about your
Yes.
kids.
Well, I have what I say in Spanish. I have my love kid, no, and my pardon kid. So the names just say it for themselves, no. Um, Max is turned 13 years old. He loves animals as he grew up, with mom, and with the teachings of mom and grandma. Also loves animals. My dad also loves animals. He will always, tell me, Mom, can we save this puppy? And since he was a very young age, 3, 4 years old, he had some issues in school, with bullying,
Mm,
because sometimes we educate our children differently. no, and he was also that kid that would save snails from being stepped on, and I think that we as humans we have to teach children to be more sensible, to be kinder, no,
Mm,
and not
I
to
agree. Starts with the kids.
normalize. Yes, not normalize stepping even on a snail, no. I remember when I was in India, very young age. Once my dad stepped. We were in a temple somewhere, and once my dad stepped on some red ants, large ants, and one of the people from temple came and told my father that could have been my aunt and that could have been my grandma, and why
Right.
are you stepping? And it scolded my dad, no. And I will never forget that, and I still believe that is true. Energy recycles itself in the universe, and we will one day return to this planet or another, and I think we have to respect all types of life, no. So Max is that type of kid. He paints also animals. He loves giving back. He loves rehabilitating animals when they are hurt and even emotionally distressed. When we rescued Lotus, Lotus was very very afraid of people, and since my kids they're very sensible with people and with animals, Max would go first and talk with her, and they help me, Max and Goose, get close to those animals who have more emotional distress, because animals can sense that
Mm,
innocence in children. No,
right.
yes,
I
and
believe, yeah, I truly believe that, yeah. And Max is a good kid, such a good kid, and he's always there by your side. Even baby Goose, I see you out rescuing animals, feeding animals, and so forth. And they're always sitting in the back of your tricycle.
yeah,
So they are amazing kids. And Max is also a wonderful artist because some of his artwork is also on some of our T-shirts that we have for sale over on Stray Dog Support. So it's great that you, as a family, this is. I know your dad helps you as well, and your family is all about rescuing. So that's really amazing because you do live in Mexico, and I
yes.
really want to dive into the core of animal welfare in Mexico. So, like, maybe you can tell me what is the current state of animal welfare in Mexico, particularly where you're based? I mean, I know it's different probably in different parts of the country, like it is here in the United States. But can you maybe tell us about the current state of animal welfare in Mexico?
Yes, I think that in all the world we have a crisis regarding animal welfare because worldwide we have an increase in violence, no? But
Mm,
particularly in Mexico, where I live in the state of Mexico, Mexico is ranking, no, high numbers in, uh, sadly, in animal abuse, and we do have a crisis, no? We have an urgency of education and an urgency of early intervention, no, to prevent both animal cruelty and future human violence. Um, Currently, we have about uh, 28 to 44 million abandoned animals in Mexico. And the state of Mexico, where I am, it goes about to 5 million animals.
well, that's a lot.
Yes, there are more abandoned and stray animals than children in the houses, in the homes. So this is a clear issue that something is not currently working or going on correctly, no? But I think that if we consider that sadly Mexico has ranked with high indexes of criminal violence worldwide, we can see why we also rank in high numbers with animal abuse and animal abandonment. As you know, Helen, studies have shown that animal abusers are significantly more likely to commit
Mm,
violent crimes against humans. No,
right. Yep.
and this is not something that I just say. This is something that even the FBI recognizes that animal cruelty is a, let's say, a predictor, no, of
Hmm.
current or future violence, and this includes assault, domestic violence, sadly, sexual abuse, arson, and even murder, no. So this is a profound social crisis that we have worldwide, and it's also a profound social crisis that we have in our country. Among other things that I can say in Mexico currently is that we have the bad side that I just told you about, and we have other things that I would like to talk about a little bit further. But also, we have a good side. We have a good side that Mexico is taking action to change this. We recently had in 2024 a constitutional reform that recognizes animals in Mexico as sentient beings. So that means that we are recognizing in our constitution that these animals are capable of feeling pain, suffering, and enjoying, no, themselves. So
Right.
now authorities are obligated to protect and respect animals, and that is a huge advance for our country. There are many laws that are being changed so that we can take action, no, and avoid and also condemn and have judicial prosecution on animal abuse, no. The state of Mexico has the biodiversity code, and this biodiversity code is now mandating to prevent cruelty, neglect, exploitation, both with domestic animals and wild animals. Uh, The thing is that while these laws are being updated and changed, and
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to do something to change, we also are lacking sometimes the application of the laws.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how effective are these laws? I mean, they're getting put in place, which is great, but how effective are they actually? Are they being, adhered to? Are people being punished when they're committing crimes based on the constitutional change? Can you maybe talk about that?
Yes, there are states in which now these types of crimes are being punished. You know, it's an education thing. Since it's something that has recently come into effect and that it's growing, animal protection, now many governments are being um, obliged to
Mm-hmm.
take action and to punish people. Because even the animal protection community has grown, and the citizens are pushing the governments to take action and to not let people free of punishment. No, I can tell you, for example, a situation in the municipality of Rayon in which we presented a stray, well, not a stray, a dog that had an owner. No, and the owner had a dog with how do you call this? Not a leash, the metal one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the choker collar,
Ah,
like a chain, the
yeah,
choke
a
collar.
choker,
Yeah.
with a chain, a very heavy chain, and the dog was, I mean, visibly lacking nutrition. It was very, very underweight and in critical condition. And we presented the animal to the authorities. The authorities, the municipality authorities, lacked to take action. Well, we did contact the state authorities, and they were on their way to Rayon with the uh, let's say the fiscal secretary of police, no,
Mm-hmm.
to take action to punish these people, to help us rescue the dog and everything. The local municipality authorities and even the local police let this woman go,
Oh.
and they told me it's not illegal to have a thin dog.
But there is a difference between a thin and a starved dog, and
Yeah,
and
exactly. And the
right.
dog was physically starved, no? So these kind of things are things that happen every day. Even if the state wants to punish and take actions, sometimes the municipalities lack the knowledge or lack the sensibility or even lack the responsibility of doing their part. So now
Right.
there is a police investigation. Well, one of the policemen that let this woman go is under state investigation for not
Wow.
complying with their responsibilities.
Did they take the dog, by the way? I think they took that dog, right?
Yes, yes. I tried to catch the dog like for 3 hours until finally got the dog, and yes, they did take the dog, and the dog is under treatment and everything. Unfortunately, the state in that sense is helping, but the municipality did not help.
Mm.
So these are things that happen every day. You know, local rescuers or nonprofit organizations want to step in, help, even call the police, and there are moments where the police do not act and do not take action. So these police officers or even these governments will have a consequence.
Right.
Now they will have a consequence.
Do you think that they're not taking action because they have no, like you said, like it's basically, is it more about the knowledge of the law, or is it that they don't have anywhere to keep the animals, or what do you think is the problem there, the disconnect?
It's many many points. The first point is that in Mexico we have a legal and institutional framework for sentient beings, no? So
Right.
one of the legal frameworks is the, let's say, the local municipal state law, no? But this
Mhm.
is a law that applies for municipalities. In Mexico, we have states and we have then smaller things called municipalities. So this local regulation requires by law or mandates that each municipality must operate an animal welfare center. These animal welfare centers must have a sterilization, vaccination, adoption, education, no? But the sad thing is that most municipalities fail to comply, Helen.
Mm.
So this creates gaps between the nonprofit organizations, the rescuers, and the system. That is one, no? So, for example, Rayon does not have this animal welfare center. Another thing is that we have to remember that after COVID, worldwide there's a crisis. There's a financial crisis in every country, and a lot of countries do not have the budget. And since the federal budget has been decreased and it's not enough for many of the states in our country, we even have a crisis in our healthcare system in Mexico. So if there's not even budget for the healthcare system in Mexico, there's no budget for animals.
Right.
So a lot of these municipalities, even if they have applied, that I don't think it's the case of Rayon, but even if they have applied, there's no funding or no budget for them to have these animal welfare centers. And when you call and ask for the support to attend a stray dog, that is by law in Mexico. All stray dogs are responsibility of the municipalities by law. They won't help you. They will just
Mm.
hang up on you and they won't take action because they don't have their animal welfare center. They don't have a place where they can put the animals, to for their treatment or to spay and neuter them. But that's where NGOs, nonprofit organizations, and rescuers, we are trying to step in this moment. In fact, yesterday, as we were invited by the state government, Helen, I want to thank the state government for the invitation. They presented a new program in the state of Mexico. This new program is called the CERA program. This program focuses on sterilization, registration, and attention to animals. And
Love
now
it.
they're going to enforce public education. So we've been doing a little bit of noise around.
We have, well, let's say you've been doing a lot of noise because I love that like if anyone doesn't know Stephanie, she's like a dog with a bone. She'll get stuff done. She's not afraid to do anything. That's why she's such a critical member of the team. But don't cross Stephanie. Love you. Okay, keep going.
Love you, Helen, as well. Love all of you. No. So, well, they presented this program. They launched it yesterday. I was in tears, so happy that now the state government is signing agreements with municipalities, and municipalities that sign these agreements will be helping state governments by taking in animals in their animal welfare centers. They're going to
Mm.
spay, neuter, and release. No, some of them are going to go into adoption, but this is a very important thing because in Mexico, sterilization and vaccination statistics are not so good. I mean, if we say that we have 5 million animals in the state of Mexico, last year, 137,600 and something dogs and cats were spayed and neutered.
Mm. That's not a lot out of the 5 million.
No.
But
So,
so Stephanie, just a quick question. So going back to those centres, so those centres are going to be run by the municipalities, the government, right? So
yes.
is there going to be any oversight on the care of those dogs? Because a lot of times they have these pounds or these municipality area shelters, and the treatment of the animals are not good. They're not getting the right food and so forth. So is there going to be? Have they talked about how they're going to manage this? Is it going to be well staffed or not at this point? They haven't talked about that.
They haven't talked about that, but I'm sure that they're going to do do it the right way because since now there's this how do you say mm, I forgot the name in Spanish, lupa. Well, all the sites, all the views, all the pressure is on these topics now.
Right.
So there have been news last weeks of animal welfare centers that were shut down because they did not have the correct
Like the infrastructure set up.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
infrastructure and like you say personnel and things, no? So this is I think something is going to happen less and less. No, unfortunately, we cannot say it's going to be perfect because nowhere it's perfect. No,
No,
but
nowhere's
I think
perfect.
that I think that the state government should have a group of people that go and inspect these animal welfare centers. In Mexico, we have something called Propaem. That's like the state um, secretary that is in charge of animal welfare and environment and stuff, no? So they have an inspection group. Unfortunately, the inspectors are very few. I think they have like six for the whole state.
Okay.
So the government is going to have to invest and is going to have to get more personnel to be able to do these inspections. And I think it's something that they're going to have to ask as a mandatory thing, no? Like you, Helen, that we have in Stray Dog Support every 3 months, no? An internal review. Well, I think they should have also specify some audits
Right.
to take the people unannounced. I think these audits should be unannounced. It's something that we're going to be talking with them, and I'm going to, through Stray Dog Support, be pushing to the state. Now, I've already thought about it last night and asked them that they should have specific audits and unreviewed audits to see that the animals are well taken care of. Because we do have, animal hoarders, and even these animal welfare centers, if they're, as you say, not well taken care of, they won't help. They will
Right.
just be part of the
Exactly.
issue of the suffering of animals.
So how many of these going to be? Okay, so there's going to be. Do they say how? Is this just in the state of Mexico? Or is this going to be the whole nation? Like, and how many are they going to have in each state? Or that still hasn't been determined yet.
Well, we should have by law one per municipality.
Okay.
So let me remember how many. I think we have. Let me see how many municipalities we have in the state of Mexico.
More than one.
Yeah, well, for sure. I think we have 30 something.
Okay, so 30. Oh, 30 shelters. Okay.
Well,
So
yeah,
do you know
yeah, yeah.
how many dogs do you think these places will be able to hold?
I can say that regularly we have 125 municipalities in the state of Mexico. Sorry, am I wrong? I'm uninformed.
I'll let it slide. Don't worry. That'll be
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
test
yeah.
later.
Yes. No, but these places usually hold, I would say, 40 to 60 animals maximum. But that
Okay.
depends on the municipality, because there are municipalities that have larger infrastructure and they have more budget. There's a municipality in the north of Mexico. I think it's called Ecatepec, Naucalpan, that they have this animal welfare center, and they have like 600 dogs,
Wow,
and
that's a lot of dogs.
and they're very well taken care of. So it really depends. I think that what the governments and the municipalities must do is they must mm, shout out. They must look for funding somewhere else. I think
Mm.
that if the state government and the federal government funding is not enough, they should look for funding with companies, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
corporate sponsorships and
yeah,
things like that.
corporate sponsorship or
That's
something.
difficult. Yeah, that is hard.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is basically like in Mexico right now, where you are, there are laws in place, right? So there are laws in place. They just need to be better mandated or better, utilized because they're underutilized and they're not as effective as they need to be. And that comes down to educating probably law enforcement and so forth. We've got this amazing new change with these CRAs, you called them CRAs. These
Yes,
hopefully that's going to be
CERA.
built out. CERA, okay. And then we've got the constitution that changed, which was also a step forward. So that's all sounds like all positive things. Now we just need to do it. So how do we get there? And and talking about like that, like what is the how are animals perceived in your area, like by law enforcement and by people? Are they well looked after? Are they treated poorly? Is what is the sort of the stigma, I guess, around animals where you currently are?
Well, in the municipality of Rayon, it really depends on the education that each person has received. I have seen farmers that are very humble and that they treat their animals with a lot of respect and they love their animals. And I have seen people that have, very expensive SUVs and I've seen them kick a dog. So
Mm.
it really depends. Now, I think that culturally in Mexico, we have not been taught to see animals as sentient beings, but to see animals as objects. Uh, Sadly, if we see worldwide, a lot of the system that is coming to be with humans is a system in which we give importance to things that are not important. Starting, no, first is money, vehicles, things, objects,
Right.
talking about brands, clothing, brands this, brands that, brands phones. We don't give importance to what should be important: life, nature, our planet. The simplest things are the ones that count the most. And it's a thing of the world system, and it's also a thing of Mexico, you know. But it really depends. But yes, the governments, some governments, have been educated on animal welfare laws, on animal welfare this, that, but others have not. But I think that it's not a question of if that they have received the education. I think that it's a moment that us, as human beings, we have to change.
Right.
We cannot continue in this path in which we are just bringing so much hate and violence and negative things to our present.
Mm.
But
Mm.
it is very difficult. I mean, as you know, Helen, last week we were assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, eh, I mean, physically assaulted because somebody complained about a little hole in a wall of 6 centimeters that supposedly our dog did. And instead of the people coming to talk as civilized people, we were assaulted and they threatened to kill the dogs, to poison the dogs. That is something that happens constantly. It's a fight between this lack of education, lack of conscience, and also lack of willingness. No, because I
Right.
mean, somebody is telling you and trying to let you know that what you are doing is wrong, and doing it in a sensible, educated manner. We also have to listen. We have to open our hearts and our minds and listen, because humans are possible. They can make this change. But some people, we do not want to change and we do not want to listen. No?
Right.
So
Yeah.
there are a lot of safety concerns for rescues. There are a lot of challenges. No? Rescuers face threats, harassment, physical aggression. And for individuals that lack this animal welfare education, these even basic values. And I think that that's everywhere. I mean, I remember that also one of our team members was attacked in Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah, in every country there's the rescuers, and a lot of times too. We have rescuers and street feeders in India that get attacked by locals, and you know, you've experienced quite a lot where you are. I mean, that goes to the question is like that. It seems to be like one of the biggest challenges that rescue groups or individual rescuers and so forth face is, you know, the stigma around feeding animals, or you know. And would you consider that like the biggest challenges, like the physical attacks that you're getting, or do you see other challenges besides obviously money, funding, trying to pay for all of this kind of stuff? But
Yeah,
what are the biggest challenges you see currently where you are?
I think the first one is that the crime and the violence indexes do not help towards trying to sensibilize and educate people. No,
Mm.
so this complicates prosecution of animal cruelty cases, because if you try to prosecute or someone in any case, no, and even animal cruelty cases, you face these threats from the people that abuse the animals, from the people in which you're trying to protect the animals. And if the system doesn't protect animals, sometimes the system even fails to protect humans. I
Yeah.
mean, unfortunately, in Mexico, we don't have the best system in which people can be protected. We even have murders of females, of people, of no, and the basic and the key thing is educate. Educate is a key intervention. No, I
Yeah.
mean, we have to change the way that children perceive life, and that includes animal life. We have to sensibilize people again. People have to stop taking importance to other things as the phones. People, you can see even people sitting and having lunch as a family with their phones on their hands. They don't
Yeah.
even talk anymore.
Yeah, that's welcome to the 21st century. I know it's like that's why, like in my house, like if it's dinner time, it's phones down. We have to have no time, phones down because it is we've lost the sense of connection to each other because we're using everything through the phone. But, and we're trying to change that. I know you've been working really hard, so maybe we can start talking about some of the things that we're doing in Mexico. You're working with we call it the Save a Stray project. So maybe you can talk about what kind of projects you are managing on the ground. We can talk about some of the things that we've done in the what we've recently done. You can and what some of the projects that are coming up.
Yes, well, as you know, one of the key things that we must do is education, no? So with this education and teaching empathy and responsible pet ownership, and teaching people animal welfare laws and the consequences of animal abuse and how this does have legal prosecution in Mexico, we will change things, no? So one of the last events that we had recently was we had a kibble drive and a donation campaign, but we also were educating people with Sedena. Sedena is the national defense of Mexico. They were so kind to partner with us. We did an event in the military zone, and they did a kibble drive. We were educating people on animal welfare, on the rights of animals, trying to sensibilize a lot of people. We had volunteers even sign up, and we did get kibble for the strays, no? So that is something that I think is a huge step because if secretaries of state like the defense help and let us uh, join forces, we will be able to do more in Mexico.
Yeah, and they had canine demonstration too, didn't they? They had some.
Yes.
They had a
Oh,
canine.
yes. Yes, it was so beautiful. The canine's name was Noble, no?
Noble, perfect
Yes,
name.
yes. And people saw because sometimes it's not enough to talk about it, try to make them understand. But with canine demonstrations, people become sensibilized that animals are a crucial part of our lives and
Yeah,
that animals also help humans in many, many cases. Search in earthquakes, emotional support animals, like Sweetie that we rescued from
mm.
Rayon, and now she's a certified emotional support animal in Canada. And
Yes, yep. She was
here,
one of the. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome story. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
no. So these little things uh, add up and help people understand that we need each other. Animals need us and we need them.
Yeah,
No?
and the military thing to maybe quickly just tell people how the general, I think it was, met you when you nearly lost your head and the boom go.
Well, sometimes the universe uh, things happen for a reason. No? I went to the military zone because I was thinking on changing Max from school because he has been suffering bullying in school and stuff it's not nice for him. And I was driving on a tricycle and I tried to enter the military zone. So the guard in the moment in the military zone told me that I should place the vehicle in a specific way so that I could go through because there are some like holes in the floor
Hmm.
and bars for safety so that people don't run in and go in for safety reasons, no? So I was like positioning the tricycle and trying to be very careful and the guard told me look at the floor while you're driving and don't remove your sight from the floor so that you don't fall into the little holes, no? And so I was ready and I said yeah, okay, for sure. And then he said pass through. No, he told me, he gave me indication to come through. So my bad because I did not look up to see if the metal bar was up. How do you call this?
The boom gate.
Yeah, well, that thing. I did not see. I trusted this person. Unfortunately, I learned my lesson. No, and I drive through, and this metal bar starts to choke me against the tricycle, And Max was at the back. You know, my kids are always with me, and he started screaming because I was getting choked. I think that there are a lot of thousands of people that visit the not this area, and I don't know why the universe always sends these things to me. And I said, "Come on, I'm the first one in the universe that this happens, no?" And the guard went into like shock, and he didn't remove the bar. He like froze.
He
So
froze. Oh, jeez.
yes, he froze. So to make it short, my son started screaming. The military came running. They removed the metal bar. They helped with the tricycle. I was rushed into the hospital, the military hospital. That I thank them for all their attentions from the bottom of my heart. No, and I was checked and and I ended up meeting the general
See, you
because he
took one
wanted.
for the team.
Yeah, yeah. So he because he wanted to know what had happened, no? And well, I explained, and they look at the cameras, and it was like those kind of moments where you say, "This is," I mean, how can this be, no? So I want to shout out a thank you to General Armando Lopez Esquivel for this collaboration because afterwards, after we met and everything, no, sent a letter and asked if we could do this event and he remembered us, no. He had a good impression of us, fortunately, and he said, "Yes, let's help them."
Yeah, and it was really good, and it was on like it was on the local news as well, which was
Yes,
really good. So it got a lot of support, and and we've done other things like with the University of Mexico. Maybe talk about that initiative that we did because that was really really good. The community spay and neuter clinic, which we did,
oh
that was
yes, yes,
amazing.
yes, it was wonderful. Well, as I was telling him, in the state of Mexico, we have several nonprofit organizations that help now. We
Hmm.
have more than nonprofit organizations. We also have rescuers, no local rescuers that help and take the animals to spay and neuter to these animal welfare places that we have per municipality. But also, one of the things that we have in the state of Mexico is that the University of the State of Mexico has a program of spay and neuter. This program has existed, I think, for 10 years, and what they do is that they have their buses, very
Yeah,
modern
they're
buses.
very nice, beautiful
Yeah,
buses.
yes, beautiful buses, no? And in these buses, they take them to different municipalities. But the municipalities or the rescuers are the ones that usually partner with them, no? So they have these free spay neuter campaigns that they do, and we sign up with them and we partner with them to do a free spay and neuter campaign in the municipality of Rayon that had never been done in the municipality of Rayon through the University of the State of Mexico. The difference of the University of State of Mexico spay neuter campaigns and the regular spay neuter campaigns are the high level of animal welfare that they take or that they have in when they do the spay and neuter. They have very high standards of animal welfare.
Mm.
So, and the numbers of pets that recover from spay and neuter are 100% compared to other spay and neuter programs that are done by the state government or by the state health system. Because unfortunately, the standards of animal welfare are a bit lower because for them it's like urgent to spay and neuter, and even considering that a lot of the owners that take the animals to spay and neuter are not conscient, as we were talking about, of
Mm.
animal welfare, they do not take good care post surgery of their animals, and a lot of the animals die.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're very strict on that when we did this initiative. I mean, you did an amazing job, and we did so many community animals, and we had so many people, and it was such a huge event. We had face painters, we had candy, we had all sorts of stuff for the kids. It was like a really big community event, wasn't it? And like it got
Yes,
such good feedback. I mean,
yes.
it was great. Tell us a bit about how the community came together for that.
Well, the community reached out to us. They were so amazed and so happy that we were partnering with the University of the State of Mexico, and that we're bringing the service for free. and locally, because it had never been done in Rayon. No, many of the people that wanted to spay and neuter with the university had to take a taxi or local transport, and about 2 3 hours to take their pet, and imagine 2 3 hours to come back. No,
Right.
so it's first world attention with the university. I mean, they weigh them, they check their vital signs, they check everything, even their glucose levels. So it's a guaranteed 100% welfare for the animals. And the people were very amazed. They were very happy. We gave the free coupons for the people that enrolled. We even did an alliance with Avante Textil. That's a company that manufactures textiles and clothing, and
Mhm.
they have been our sponsors as well, Helen.
Mhm.
Shout out to them. No, you can. They are owners of the brand Optima. That's the brand of clothing that you can find online, and we gave even free coupons for some of their employees as a partnership with them. So the people were very, very happy. They arrived with pre programmed appointment.
Yeah.
So another
Mhm.
thing that we did is was very well organized. The event was very well organized, very well planned. Even the University of the State of Mexico said it was the first time in their years of working that they had ever had a partnership so well planned, so well organized, and so well everything for the animals. No, we had the donation and of the medicine that we used, for example, no, the anesthesia,
Anesthesia. Yep.
yeah, and stuff. And the university was even amazed and told me we had never had uh, somebody partner with us and give us 100% medication new, original, and in good quality as this one. I mean,
Yeah.
we partner with other people or with other organizations, and that is a reflect of what we say. There is no funding in Mexico. Are there's no funds for animals. So when they do these spay neuter campaigns, are usually people donate what they have so that they
Mm.
can attend animals, no? But in this sense, it was great. People loved the face paint, and the kids were painting, coloring books. We were explaining to people regarding animal welfare, no, and educating them and sensibilizing them on how to take care. We gave them flyers for pre-operation information, and we gave them information for post-op care and how they had to take care of their pets. We did a follow-up. We were calling all our patients through our volunteers to see how they were doing, how they were recovering, if they had any issue, if they needed anything. And 100% of our patients recovered satisfactory. No, and the people are waiting. They're waiting for the next one.
The next one, yeah, we're going to do another one next year. I think we're going to be doing the next thing that we're going to be doing is a vaccine
Vaccine.
campaign. Yep, we're going to be doing that. We're going to hopefully bring up a couple of vets from the United States actually to come out and help with that project. So we're super excited about that. We're working on that at the moment. I know that you did an amazing adoption event at GAC,
Yes.
one of the local car companies, which was really
Yeah.
good.
The car
We
dealership.
did, yeah, the car dealership was good, and we're thankful for them. And we also did a food drive with Mega Carblay.
Yes.
So we are, we are really trying, and you're really trying to do so much with like organizations within the state of Mexico. That's You're doing amazing. But maybe talk about that and some of the things that are coming up, like the Harley Davidson. I don't know if we can talk about that yet, but we're working on another
Yeah,
project.
that's
But
like a secret surprise.
okay, we won't talk about that one. We'll just skip that bit. But some of the things that So overall, like, how do you finding that people are being open to us coming to them to help with the community animals?
I think that being an international organization is helping us open doors for sourcing donations and partnerships. No, I mean, as Stray Dog Support, you have always actively built partnerships with companies. No,
Hmm.
and you have always been very active, Helen, and I admire all your work.
Oh
Really,
shucks! I didn't pay you for this, everybody. Like, I
no,
didn't
no,
say, "Hey,
no, no,
slip in a compliment," but
no.
okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I love you. I admire you. Your work is amazing, inspiring, and everything you do inspires me to do more. And I think it's very hard because one of the things that we have in Mexico is transparency. That would be the word, no?
Yeah, transparency. Yep. Mm.
So we have that side of animal rescue in Mexico, sadly, in which there are nonprofit organizations or there are rescuers that ask for help and they do not use the funding or the donations or to help animals, and
Mm.
they are maybe they
Are
yeah they
unethical.
yeah, very
Let's put
unethical.
it that
Of
way.
course,
Yeah.
yes, unethical. So, being us and that, as we mentioned, no, you're a nonprofit, you're 501c, and all the regulations that come around of your hard work, where you get audited and stuff, that gives a sense of security to these partnerships that we're doing. No, I mean financial statements are public,
Right.
so they
Ours
can
are. Yep. Ours are on the website.
yes, they're on the website, so they can see that this is something that happens. They see that the dogs that we rescue are taken to Canada, and you have a amazing. We have an amazing team in straight out support for the follow up of our cases, and people can visibly see that we are working hard for the animals. No, so that also is a good thing because donors and companies want to support that. No, they want to help, and it's been hard in the beginning because a lot you knock 10 doors and nine get shut, no,
Yeah. Yep.
one opens. But I think you the main point is n- continue, insist,
Yeah.
don't let go,
Yeah.
continue,
Yep.
insist, don't let go. No, as you know, a company that I contacted, I think it was a year ago, that I want us so much to do a partnership with them. They wouldn't even consider no speaking with us. And last time I went there, now we're trying to do something there with the marketing department. So it took us a year and a half, but we're getting there. So I
Yeah.
think it's a question of
That's all
pushing.
because of you, Stephanie. I mean, honestly, your work is the way you work, and you never sleep, you never rest. I'm always amazed at your energy level, given the fact that you have kids, and you also have a number of dogs in care. That we have within our Save a Stray project. We just got six dogs to. We're getting six. Well, we got six dogs to California that are going up to Canada. That you were actually the flight volunteer as well. So you left your busy life to get on a plane and fly to the US, and then you flew back all in 2 days, and that was like a. We got them ready in a matter of days, which I still think that was such an amazing thing that you did. But you're always knocking on doors. You're always coming up with these ideas. Sometimes I have to say, hey Stephanie, let's just back it up a little bit, because she'll send me like 25 proposals. Hey, we can do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and I'm like, hey Steph, I haven't even had my coffee yet, so can we just scale it back to one? And but you're doing some amazing work. You're always advocating. You're always out there fighting the good fight. Like I don't know, you're off to a meeting and then you say, hey Helen, I've got 10 dogs here that need this and that. Can we help them? Or I just met this person who's going to help us and do this. So you're always advocating. You're like on 24/7 animal advocacy, which is so I'm so admired of the work that you're doing, Stephanie, because you do all the hard work. But we've got so many amazing things coming up that I can't wait to share with people. Next year's going to be awesome. This was our first kind of full year doing the Save a Stray project, which was spearheaded by you. We have so many amazing things coming up, which I can't wait. But, let's talk about just quickly, we sort of need to wrap up shortly, but just how was like the emotional toll of rescue work on you? Because I know you work so hard, but how are you feeling? How are you feeling about all of it?
I feel very blessed to be able to do what I love. I don't want to cry, but you
Don't
know,
cry.
since I was a child, I remember one day I drew my ID, saving animals. So I love animals. What can I say, Helen? Wow. I'm the crazy dog woman. No, I'm walking on the streets and I'm talking. Unfortunately, no, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but sometimes I'm talking more with the dog of the neighbor than with the neighbor, and I don't mean to be rude. It's just the way that I am. No, I
Hmm.
connect a lot with sentient beings. No, and first I feel very blessed. Of course, it's an emotional toll. Sometimes there are days where I do not understand why or how is it possible that there can be there so much evil.
Mm.
But then there are moments in my life in which faith is returned to me for humanity, like yesterday at the event, seeing that there is a fight, but there are people fighting for, you know.
Yeah, you don't feel so alone. Like you're feeling
Yeah,
like there's actually. I mean, do you really feel like there's going to be some change in Mexico? Do you feel like are you feeling that it's like on the cusp of changing?
I hope so because my kids live in Mexico. I love my country and I want my country to be a better place. And I know there are a lot of good Mexicans that want the same. They
Right.
want brighter, a happier, a less violent future for their families, for their and I want a better planet. I mean, I think all sentient beings have the right to enjoy this planet, and I think we have to stop being so selfish. All the water is put into underground, no, in the pipes, no. Birds don't have water to drink. I think it's not fair that birds or dogs should be drinking from puddles of water, and us humans uh, are drinking from clean water sources. I think we have to share this planet with the creatures that are in the planet.
I
And
absolutely love
what
that.
can
Yep.
we
That.
think of? We cannot think of a dark future, and no, we have to have hope, and all of us must make a change. Any little thing that you can do to help helps. Be it share this podcast, be it share Facebook, be it donate a dollar a month, doesn't matter. Go
Hmm.
to your local shelter, help take the dogs out for a walk, share adoptions, talk with your neighbor. If you see that your neighbor is being cruel to an animal, try to invite him a cup of coffee, a slice of cake, and try to sensibilize this human to a better world. It is our responsibility. We are the most supposedly intelligent creatures in this planet, and we are responsible for the other creatures' lives.
Exactly, exactly. And you're doing a huge part of that. And if there are people listening from other countries, what is the best way, or within your country, within your local community, what is the best way that they can support the work that you're doing, Stephanie?
Share this knowledge. No, I hope we are trying to give them some knowledge on what is happening. Educate your fellow neighbor. Uh, be more human.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Mm-hmm.
more respectful. Love more. Hate less. That we need to bring more love into the world. I know it sounds kind of
Cool.
but
I know it's like corny, but it is true. It is. We need to bring that back, and I am so hopeful that given the things that I hear happening in Mexico, yeah, there's going to be the dark side, but I know that you're working very hard with, like you said, the authorities. You're working with politicians to try to make changes into the law, to try to do different things that will overall help overall animal welfare in Mexico.
yeah,
And
well,
there is a lot of hope. It
yeah,
sounds like there's a lot of hope.
I hope it comes. To truly improve animal welfare in Mexico, we must enforce existing laws and municipality responsibilities. No,
Hmm.
that's important. We must guarantee budgets for animal centers and for animal welfare. We must promote education in empathy and responsible ownership. And I think that this is important and something that we're going to push towards. I think we must protect rescuers and animal defenders from violence.
That is key. Yeah,
Because
for
last
sure.
week, what happened, it broke my heart.
I know
I
you were
cannot
pretty rattled up with
understand.
that. I know it was.
Yeah, and what hurt me the most, Helen, was seeing my kids see that violence. Two kids that have done so much in their young lives and that they try so hard to make the world kinder, witness such violence and see Goose's and listen to Goose's, you know, how he was screaming for help and nobody helped, and see the indifference of people, that hurts. And
Yeah.
it's the moments, and I think, as a rescuer, those are the moments that break you
Yeah.
and
Well,
make you
hopefully, Stephanie will with the. Sorry, I was just saying, with hopefully with the work that you're doing, they can see that there are some good people out there, And we'll have to wrap it up. But I wanted to. We'll have to have you back on later on so you can give us an update on the update with the changes with those centres. I'm really wanting to sort of see how they go. But I really want to thank you so much for being with us today. Your work, your heart, and your dedication is like incredibly inspiring. It has been an absolute honour to have you on the Rescue Dog Pod. And to our listeners, I'd like to thank you for spending time with us, whether you're walking your dog, driving to work, or just relaxing at home. We appreciate you being part of the rescue community. And if you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the Rescue Dog Pod on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube, so that you can never miss a story. We'll have all of our episodes up there. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rescue Dog Pod and at Stray Dog Support if you are so inclined. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel where we're sort of basically here to spread awareness about all things rescue, from the street to the shelter to forever homes. Your support really helps us do that. So until next time, keep fighting for the voiceless, and remember, every dog deserves a chance. Thank you, everyone.